Hello guys, welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast live. It's me and Paul this week, and we're going to be going through everything West Ham related and any news that we like to cover through sports. If you've got any questions throughout the show, put them in the live chat and we'll try our best to answer them. If you've not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like our content, and please share with your friends. Let's get on with it. It's the Free Hammers and it's live.
Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back. Show 150. Amazing. I'll tell you what, mate, since you've not been here as well, like a couple of weeks, we delayed this show. Mate, we've had nearly 100 new subscribers in about a sort of 30-day period, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The shows, the channel's really picking up a little bit recently. 1,000 views on a few videos. It's good. It's good. Feels good.
Going well, mate. You're working hard, Luke. Obviously, pays off, yeah, mate. Pays
definitely,
off.
mate. And just to start the show, congratulations on 150. Thanks, mate. Morning, gents. I made the show for the first time in ages. Thanks for having me on the other day, Luke. Really enjoyed it. I hope you're good, Paul. And morning, Luke and Paul. Congratulations on the 150.
Thank you very much.
I did try to get Ray Winston on, but didn't happen.
Bosh.
Well, I haven't spoke to you, mate, since properly, obviously like this. The Newcastle game, mate. Just really quickly touch on that, mate. What a performance! What a game for the neutral.
Yeah. I have to say, when we went 1-0 down, I was worried. I was like, oh no, come on, not. Let's not have a bad season straight away.
Well, St. Maxim turns into bloody Messi, doesn't he, when he plays us?
He's a good player, mate.
Fantastic player.
He made Rice look like a boy. He made him look like a boy. But see, when you watch that back, like the thing that annoys me was that went on. It seemed like it went on for ages. He turned him about 8 times.
Yeah.
But Cresswell was just standing there watching it. Like if Cresswell had come across to help out Rice, the cross doesn't come in. Yeah, the cross doesn't come in, and we wouldn't have conceded. So I don't know what Cresswell was doing there. But yeah. But no, it was a fantastic game, mate. Brilliant comeback.
Twice, mate.
Yeah, twice. 2-1 down at half time. Fantastic performances from Benrahma and Antonio in particular. I thought they were fantastic. The only worry is again the defense. And I said this at the time. Going forward, we were brilliant. Every time we went forward, we looked dangerous. Obviously, we scored 4 goals. 4 goals away from home. Going forward, we look brilliant. Still, obviously, massively lacking depth there. But it's the defence that is the worry. That's the concern at the minute. So you can understand after that first game, obviously, the main thing we've been linked with in this window is defenders. And you can see why. It is needed. But yeah, brilliant game. Like I say, fantastic for your boy, mate, Benrahma.
Mate, goal and assist. He's on fire, mate. He looks good, doesn't he? He looks like he wants to, take the games now. He wants to be the main man in them games now.
He does, and maybe he feels like he's got something to prove because Lingard hasn't come back yet. Maybe
that's my fear. That's my fear as well. If Jesse does come back next week, is he going to be forced out? And I'd hate to see that. I
would hate to see that as well, mate. But it will probably happen, and I think he probably knows that. So he's probably aware of that, thinking, well, I need to make these couple of weeks count so that if he does come back in, I've made my...
Especially with the fans there now, isn't it? With the fans there now, we want to see Benrahma, they'll sing them songs. But, I give him patience last year. I did slightly run out towards the end, but I think we're seeing a good player now. We're seeing what he's about.
That's what we want. I had my doubts over him all last season. He didn't impress me at all. But no one... I assume anyway, no one wants to see any West Ham player foul. No. No one wants to see a West Ham player foul. Obviously, I want all of our players to be the best player in the world in their position. Obviously, I would love to see Benrahma, really kick on and be a big player for us. And like you say, look, this season it could happen as long as he gets the chances. And I will say as well, Antonio really impressed me. His finishing seems to have really improved. The way he took that goal.
What a finish.
Yeah, the way he took the goal. I was like, where did that come from? I didn't know he had that in his locker. Missed the penalty. It was a terrible penalty. And he shouldn't be taking them. I know you said Benrahma, 6 out of 6 record.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, mate.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for Brentford, yeah. 10 out of 10.
So Benrahma should be taking them. Souček should be behind him. I don't know, and Antonio and Rice taking penalties. You know, I think with Rice taking them, that's basically Noble took them, so now Rice takes them. That doesn't track, doesn't work. And Antonio should be nowhere near penalties, nowhere near him.
He's too casual with his technique.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. I think even Bowen might be able to whack a penalty, and he's got his strikes are lovely. But what about his chance, mate? What a goal that would have been when he went past like 3 players.
He did everything right. You know, like the feet and the touch was fantastic. But then he did, and and I know I don't know if he's watching today, but our mate Bowden said to me, he sent me a text straight after that saying that's why Bowen is not playing through the middle, because he does that a lot. He hits the keeper quite a lot. You know, from that position, he did everything. From that position, you've got to score. You have to score from there. Yeah, unlucky, but he had a good game. Like I say, I think all the attack Fornals as well. I think all
Rice
the attacking players.
Game, didn't he? Obviously,
Rice second half was very good. Suchek obviously got his goal. You know, all across the front of the pitch, I think we were brilliant. It was just the defence was a bit. How long do you think Fabianski's got?
I say Europa League, mate. I think he'll stay until the Europa League. I think the first round of Europa League, you'll see Areola in goal. Obviously, the draw comes out next week. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I think Europa League. What about you?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. It's harsh on Fabianski because he's been phenomenal for us and he's still a really, really good keeper. And I did say before the season started that Fabianski will start the season, but I would have liked Areola to start the season, to be honest. You know, he's one of the best keepers in the league.
He will be in, though. He will be in.
He will. And I understand, you know, they want to do a transition, but you don't sign a player who's a step up and not really start him. I don't know. I don't know. I understand why they did it. And it would be harsh on Fabianski to just drop him. But I'm looking forward to seeing Areola come in.
Algeria are in the African nations, so do you think we'll lose Benrahma as well as Antonio? So it's a fantastic point, mate. Maybe
Algeria, didn't they get to the final last year or something?
Good team, mate. Bloody good team. Benrahma, Mahrez, and there's a couple of others real good Algerians out there. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's a worry. Yeah, just quickly on that, actually, mate. That's a good way to move on. Antonio, mate, obviously looks like he will get picked for Jamaica now. I don't know whether you've seen my video. 8 games between now and Christmas, mate. And you add in the Europa League games, you're pushing another 14 games plus Premier League games. He ain't getting through yet, mate.
Now, what are we now? September? End of September? Are we? No, August. Is it?
Mid-August now, isn't it? Like, you've got
August.
10 days left of August.
If Antonio lasts till October without getting injured, I'll be surprised. You know, the way that he plays, and we know he's, you know, his hamstrings and everything. He could go at any time. Yeah, it's a huge worry, mate. Huge worry. There's no way, even if we were just playing a normal season without any extra games, or internationals, he would struggle to stay fit the whole season with all these extra games as well. Very, very, very worrying.
It is a worry. It is a worry, especially if we don't sign anyone, and we will talk about transfers in a minute. That's my big worry. Who do we drop if Lingard does come back in? So do you think it would be Benrahma? Because I know a couple of people I've had on the show, they're saying that it would be Fornals. Now, I can't see Fornals getting dropped. He's like...
No, absolutely.
One of the favourites.
Absolutely no way. No way is Fornals getting dropped before Benrahma or Lingard. No way. Yeah, it would be. You know, we saw it last season with Lingard was playing off that left-hand side. It would be Benrahma. The only thing is, I think, and obviously we don't know this, but it seemed like Lingard was undroppable last season. Even when he weren't playing too well, he never got subbed, ever.
No.
And possibly that was something in the loan contract, you know, that he had to play every minute he was available. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just speculating. If that's not a thing, if we sign him permanently, then you'd like to think, you know, there'll be more rotation. And that's what I was saying. We've got a fantastic attacking team at the minute, but we've got no cover at all. And what attacking players did we have on the bench?
That's right, mate. When you looked over at the bench the weekend...
Lanzini, Yarmolenko.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know, Lanzini and Yarmolenko.
I love Lanzini, but with Yarmolenko...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But they're, you know, we need options. So having a player like Lingard come in and give us more options it can only be a good thing. It can only be a good thing.
Just before we move on, mate, in terms of players that we've currently got, that Okaflex, mate, when do you think he's going to get his chance, mate? He looks like a player.
Mate, I've been saying that literally.
This Neves, apparently he's a real player as well.
Okaflex, I've been saying, and I've been saying this for weeks, mate. Like, I think he looks really good. He's been banging them in for fun.
Very direct as well, and I like the way how direct he is.
Yeah, I said the first time I see him in pre-season, I can't remember who we were playing now, but the first pre-season game he played in, I said he like you say, he's very direct. He reminded me a lot of Grady. He reminded me of Diangana, the way that he likes to run direct. I definitely think he'll be around the team this year. I think
Europa League he's going to get his chance, mate. I think he may be one of the start. He might start in Europa League as well.
Yeah, and you just hope he's ready. I mean, we've seen a few times, youth players sort of come through not quite that, they look brilliant at that level and then they can't quite make the step up. So I don't know. I hope he's ready. He looks like he is. He looks like a player that could come in and do something. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. But again, you can't rely on him coming good. We need to sign attacking players. We need to sign a striker, at least one striker, massively.
Yeah. Andy says, for me, Arthur Ashby, a couple of times I've seen him, to be fair, mate, he does look good. He has pace, can deliver. The problem with it, mate, he's got Soufal in front of him. That's his only problem, is Soufal in front of him. Let's move on. I'll tell you what, mate, you can decide. We're either going to talk about Pai Capital or we're going to talk about transfers. So which one do you want to do first?
Neither are good, mate, are they? Neither are good. We're going to moan about both of them. Leave Pai Capital till later. We'll talk about the transfers.
Right, okay. So transfers, mate. There's about 12 names on there, and I don't reckon we'll sign one of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, there's a lot of names, and we'll get none of them. So let me see your list there. Who have we got?
We'll start. Okay, so the first one, Marcus Thuram, Lillian Thuram's son. Richard Gablack, great player, but no chance.
He's not coming to West Ham.
A guy called Lombard from Montepello.
Never heard of him.
Available for about 9 million. Striker. Tolisso, would love him. Not going to happen. Bayern Munich. Another one, not going to happen. Luke de Jong from Seville.
That's an interesting link. Do you know what? You say not going to happen. I could see that coming off.
Good player. Good player.
Yeah.
19 goals.
He's a good player, but I don't know if he's the right player.
What I like is it's something different. Yeah, but again,
Allaire was something different. Do you know what I mean?
No, it was, mate. It was. But he is a good player. Player. Another player that I know you would love us to sign, mate, but probably won't happen. Belotti.
We should have signed him like 3 windows ago. It's been talked for a long time. He's available. I don't know. I just think he'd be brilliant. Like he's not the most technical striker in the world, but he's a proper grafter. He's everywhere. He'll chase down everything. No lost causes. If we want someone to come in as a kind of like for like for Antonio, mate, he would be fantastic. He would be fantastic. De Jong was awful for Newcastle, but how long ago was that?
Did he play for Newcastle? Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, did he? I did not know that. Then obviously Belotti. Jesse Lingard. Is it going to happen?
He will come. I think he will.
It's going to happen. I do. I think it's going to be deadline day. The only fear I have is that another club might come in for him. That's the only way we'll lose him, I think, if Everton or Leicester come in for him. Because Maddison could go to Arsenal. I'll say that. He won't go now, will he? Because Odegaard's just gone there. So Maddison will probably start at Leicester now. So they might not need him.
I have to say, just to see James's comment there, 2 years ago, I have to admit, I thought it was longer than that. But still, 2 years is a long time in football. But I don't think he'll come. I don't think he'll be coming.
No, I don't think he'll come, mate. I don't think so. Next on the list, I'm just going to say, obviously, your views on Milikovic, mate. Obviously, signed a new contract for Fiorentina now. Was you disappointed? Would you have liked him?
Yeah, definitely. This is a player that was being talked about for
50 million.
Yeah, sort of big money. Big money. You look at what's happened and you kind of think, well, maybe the whole thing was just a a push to get a new contract at Fiorentina. Maybe he never had any intentions of going anywhere.
I don't think he did.
So it was kind of, dead in the water anyway. But yeah, it would have been a good one. I think Zuma.
Yeah,
it's
that
weird
was the next
because
name I was going to say, mate. Zuma. Yep.
I would say Zuma's probably the first choice now. I did read a comment from one of the in the knows that he wasn't on Moyes' list, but he became available and got offered to us. So we obviously had discussions and talked to him. And I think now he's probably the number one target. But I can't see that happening either, mate, to be honest. I just don't think there's enough time to get it done.
I don't know. It's one of them late loan deals or whatever. That just seems what it's going to be. I think transfer deadline day is going to be craziness for us. The last 2 or 3 days are going to be madness. Absolute madness. Another name on there is obviously Abdullah Sima, mate, a guy we've been linked with the whole time. Apparently X said we want him. Could that be one of them cheeky ones that we've been waiting for? Last minute we give them an offer they can't refuse.
Maybe, but it seems like the type of deal that we could have had done weeks ago. It really does. He's not an high-profile, big-name player. It's not a sort of glamour club. It seems like if we really wanted him, we would have just gone and got him. I think if we do get him, it'll be as a sort of, a backup last resort option.
Yeah.
Phillips is an interesting one. Phillips is interesting.
I would have him. Who else we got here? Origi on loan.
I would take him, mate. I would, yeah. I would take Origi. I think he's a decent player. Especially, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be, popping champagne or anything if he signed for West Ham.
No.
But as someone to come in...
Point to prove, I think.
Yeah, point to prove. And as someone to come in to take the weight off of Antonio, yeah, I think he would be a good signing.
Yeah, Sima, if Slavia Prague get knocked out of the Euros, Origi is underrated. Yeah, I agree, mate. I totally agree. I know I spoke in depth with you in the week, James, about that. Do you really rate Zuma?
I like him.
Yeah. Listen, look, when I always say when Dawson signed, we was a bit like, don't know. Moyes seems to be able to get the best out of players. And Zuma, honestly, Zuma will be good for us. He would. I think he would be good for us.
He's got, if you look at the attributes, like the physical attributes, he's got everything. Zuma has got everything to be a top class centre back. And like you say, under Moyes, if he could bring that out of him, yeah, I do rate Zuma. I don't think he's been utilised properly. Obviously, with Chelsea, is kind of a waste of time. I know he had a couple of loans.
The thing with Chelsea is, mate, you have to look who's in front of him as well. Thiago Silva, one of the best defenders that's ever lived. Rudiger seems to be like just coming into his game, doesn't it? It's tough. It's tough for him to get in there, mate.
It is, yeah. And what was he? Where was he at Everton last year? And from what I've seen, the Everton fans really liked him. Thought he'd done a really good job. No, I do. I like him. He's one that I would like us to sign. Saying that, if the rumours about him wanting 150 grand a week are true, no, don't be silly. No, come on.
We should have gone and got Varane, mate. When United signed him. What a signing that is, though. What a signing. What a player. What a player he is, Varane. 2 more, and the name has been mentioned just then. I will come back to your points, Andy. Your thoughts on Boya, who we were linked with last night from France, and if Paul doesn't know him,
I've never heard of him before yesterday.
No, I haven't, mate. So I did prepare this.
He's about 6'7" or something, isn't he?
Blue Peter, there you go. There he is, Mohamed Boya. 1.8.
Actually, I thought he was taller than that.
There's a video plan. He can play anywhere across the front line, so a very much a Moyes style player. What is that? Why is there a press conference going on there? Right. And his goal ratio is 57 in 170 games. Is there anything about his style of play? No, nothing about his style of play. That's a shame. But yeah, that is it.
3 goals in 2 games. That's literally this season, isn't it? Like he's only just come through and he scored 3 goals in 2 games. So they read that. I've never heard of him before.
No, I haven't,
yesterday.
mate. I haven't.
So I couldn't
So
tell you.
whoever asked that question, who was it? George Mayer asked that question. So if you know a bit more than me, mate, let me know. Andy says, I think Sima was waiting to see if we got Champions League, but they haven't now. I think 25 million with add-ons is a good price. Origi minute to game ratio is 1 every 181 minutes. Great record. Very good record, mate. Thanks for the stats. Hi, lads. How are you? Very good. What's James saying here? I like Lewis Dunk from Brighton. I think it cost a few quid though, mate. That's the only problem. Morning boys, loved the show. Missed the start, mate. No worries, mate.
Don't forget, guys, if you do miss the start, you can always watch it back afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Last name, mate, on the list that I see this morning, and it would be a typical West Ham signing, is Mitrovic, a guy we probably should have signed 2 years ago. But no. Unless we're signing him for the way he taunted the Millwall fans the other night. I don't know if you see that.
Again, in a different system, if Allardyce was still manager, then Mitrovic would be fantastic. But no, not in this, pressing, counter-attacking style that we're trying to play. No, I don't think he's a bad player, but he's just not. No, he's not right for us in the way we're trying to play right now.
That's it, mate. Andrew says, "Don't worry, gentlemen. Gold and Moyes have been spotted down Hackney Marshes. They're interested in the centre back for the Dog and Duck. Perhaps Moyes pick up a couple of gems like he did with Soufal Zucek. Yeah, we'll be busy. Whether we sign anyone, who knows? But this leads perfectly into reasons why we might not sign players now, mate. Pi Capital, mate. I know you've listened to the car crash interview in the week, and obviously since then, Tony Cottee has now been attached to it. What's your views on it, mate? Go. Floor's yours.
Yeah. So obviously you sent me the audio of the interview that they did on TalkSport. I mean, did this man not do any preparation whatsoever? I'm starting to get confused about everything. The Simon Jordan, I don't like Simon Jordan. I'm not a fan of him.
But he was fantastic.
He was fantastic. He completely ripped that guy to pieces. And the stuff that he brought up was stuff that all West Ham fans would want to bring up, about, that West Ham fans don't care about the Olympic legacy. West Ham fans don't care about the corporate in general. West Ham fans, you're talking about bringing Rio in. It was naive. It was misguided because he's been trying to sell Rice all summer. Loved that he brought these points up. Absolutely loved that he brought these points up. It was like, he's not a West Ham fan, but if there was a West Ham fan there, those are the things that they would have said.
He was asking
what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guy, that Beard, had no answers. He had no answers. I don't understand what he thought he was going there for. And he kept saying, I'm here for transparency. I think we need to be transparent, but I'm not actually going to be transparent. Yeah, we need to be transparent, but I'm not actually going to tell you anything. And again, Jordan kept saying that. And it came down to basically, what are the plans? What are you going to do? And he couldn't answer. There was nothing. There was nothing there. It was, like you say, mate, absolute car crash of an interview.
Well, mate, it's when he right at the beginning of the interview, he starts talking, going, "What a fantastic weekend of sport! Man United, Brentford beating Arsenal, and cricket and boxing." And then it only took Jim White to go, "Oh, and West Ham's fantastic win, Philip." And he went, "Yeah, and the cricket." Like at no point did he go, "Oh, what a great start to the season that was for West Ham."
And I think that came across that they don't care. They don't care about the football club. They don't care about West Ham United. They don't. And again, I said this on the last podcast we did. Now I've completely lost. I started reading that comment and it completely threw me off there. You put that comment up. The last podcast that we did, I said I don't want to defend Sullivan, but the fact that he came out and said these people don't care about the club, that it's a property deal, mate, it seems like he was right. It seems like Sullivan was actually telling the truth for once.
It does.
These don't care. And the fact that they said that, he started comparing us, like when they started talking about the model, when they said about having the money to compete in the transfer market and buy players and stuff. And he turned around and said about Brentford, Brentford, fantastic win. Mate, this is a team from the Championship that just got promoted. We're above them, we're buying their players. We are it sounds like they want us to be basically buying cheap and selling off our players. He basically said about Rice, when Rice goes on to better things, mate, you're coming in to buy the club. You should be saying, we're going to buy the club. Exactly. We're going to keep our best players here. We're going to improve the team.
We're building our team around Declan.
Yeah, it was so bad, mate. So bad. And then, like you say, the news, what was it, yesterday, that Tony Cottee is back in their bid. TC, man, come on. I mean,
You know what the problem is? I think if TC would have been bought in early, and these guys wouldn't have opened their mouth as much. The scary thing is, this probably would have gone through. That is the scary thing. The fact that they've opened their mouth, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like, you know, when Simon Jordan said to him, "Oh, West Ham fans want to know that there's guaranteed like 60, 70 million or 80 million, whatever it is, every single transfer window." And then his words, I didn't like it. Oh, it depends on what hospitality, it depends on what events. And then someone made a really good point on the show I did the other day. There's only about a 12-week period that you can actually have events there. You can't do it during the season. It takes about a month to get the stadium in that mode. So how much money are you going to make from these events? Not that much.
And it's again the fact that what they are, the firm that they are, they're all about their investors and return for the investors. If all the money is coming from events and from around the area around the stadium, right? Because that's what they're talking about as well. They weren't just talking about the stadium; they were talking about the Olympic Park, right? So they're talking about the area around it. If all their money's coming from that, and they're not really making any money from West Ham Football Club, right? All they're really doing is, you know, they're having to buy players and put money in. The investors are going to be like, well, why are we putting this money into West Ham? You know, what's the point? They would rather sell off our players. They would be basically running us exactly the same as Sullivan and Gold are now. Bare minimum, stay in the Premier League.
Make sure they take their £20 million wages a year, whatever they want.
Stay on the gravy train. Don't invest in the club.
Like Arsenal.
Just poor. The only good thing is,
is there any positive? Is there any positive you took out of it?
Mate, the only positive is it's not going to happen. That's the only positive.
Oh no, mate.
It's not going to happen, mate. If you listen to these people talk, right, they have not got money. They haven't got money.
They did say no debt, though. They did say no debt. I'm playing devil's advocate here. They said no debt. Right? Well,
they said they wouldn't leverage the club. They wouldn't leverage debt on the club to buy the club. They didn't say there'd be no debt. That's that. You know, I don't think they've got the money. They've gone in with what 400 was it 450 mil
something like
or
that,
400?
Yeah.
They went in with that. Sullivan said no. They said, oh, we're going to come back in with another bid. And it was all that as well. It was like, oh, well, the more we have to pay for the club, you know, the less we'll have to spend on players.
Like I didn't like that at all.
How much money have you people actually got? Mate, they haven't got it. They have not got the money.
That's exactly what you're saying, mate. Everything they said is exactly what you'd say to turn off a club, but, you know, turn off a fan base straight away.
Yeah. And the fact that they keep, again, it was said on TalkSport, you know, Simon Jordan said it. As soon as the negotiations are in public, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Sullivan is not going to sell to these people. He's not going to want to deal with them. Because they're trying to mug him off in the media. He ain't going to do business with these people. He's got no incentive to. Sullivan doesn't need to sell the club. He doesn't need to sell West Ham United. You know, he's taking enough money out of the club. It is not going to happen, mate. And what I don't like is they seem to be trying to do everything they can. Pai seem to be trying to do everything they can to try and get the fans riled up, to maybe go and protest, to try and allow their bid to be accepted. What sort of business is that?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. It's so unprofessional. But one thing I wanted to say, because I said it in my video this morning. What about, though, okay, what about this scenario that we don't sign any players, or we sign very few players in the next week or so? Antonio gets injured, results start going a bit wayward, fans start protesting because, you know, not all of them are, you know, as read and have seen everything. They just see someone wants to take us over. Protest start. Could he be pressured out of the club then? That's my fear. That's my fear.
Maybe. I say that. I say he could. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. But
that's my fear. That's the way I can see it happen.
I think as well. See if this Pai Capital came in. Say they came back in with a 500 mil, 600 mil bid, and it got accepted. I think then you would see other people come out of the woodwork and match it. I just want to make a note there. Just a comment from Glenn.
Yeah, I'm going to go through all the comments in 2 seconds. Yeah.
So he says they want to buy the stadium. No, they don't. They don't want to buy the stadium. And again, this was a thing that they sort of covered in that TalkSport interview. They don't want to buy the stadium. They want to take over the running of it. They want to take over the lease. They're not going to buy the stadium. They can't buy the land the stadium's on. They just want to take over the lease. So don't think they're going to buy the stadium and they're going to knock it down and do whatever. They're not going to do that. And the only thing is as well, they're going to buy the stadium. That costs millions to upkeep. The reason they want to take over the lease, and think about this, right? So if they take over the lease at a club, right? And then they take over West Ham as well. They take over the stadium lease. They take over West Ham. Why would they carry on paying £2 million a year? Why would they not say, oh, okay, now because we own the club and we own the lease, we're going to renegotiate the lease with ourselves. And now the club has to pay £20 million. So they're literally paying themselves £20 million a year out of the club.
They're on the lease, yeah.
Because they can. Why would they not do that? If I was a business person and I had loads of investors that I had to pay, I'd do it. I would do it. I'd take over the lease. I'd say, well, why am I only getting £2 million a year from this? No, I'll tell you what. I want 20 million. I want 30 million. I want 40 million pound a year. They can do that, mate. It's all dressed up. No. It's if these boys take over, it will be an absolute disaster. I want Sullivan out as much as anybody. Believe me, if these boys take over, in 5 years' time, we'll be worse. In 5 years' time, we will be worse.
I agree. And then you may be in a position like what Arsenal's in, where the guy refuses to sell because he's guaranteed these £60 million a year that he takes out of the club every year. Why? Well, he's got no incentive to sell, has he? No incentive. Exactly. Right, let's go through the comments. I still say, want to kick us out of the stadium, turn it into offices and shops and drain us dry until their end. I think the owners are setting up to be sold. That's why they're not paying cash for players. I'd love to see Tony Cottee on one of the West Ham channels to get his views on why he thinks it would be good for the Pai to take over.
I think now that this has come out, Cottee needs to do something. He needs to do. And again, I think this is all. It's a circus show now. It is. This whole thing is a circus act. It's a clown show. It really is. It's not going to happen. And the more this sort of goes on in the media, the less likely it is to happen. But I want, exactly like you say, mate, I want to know why Cottee has decided now, yeah, I think these guys know what they're doing. I want to know, I think he needs to do something. I think he needs to do an interview with a channel or something.
Why has he stayed quiet for 3 weeks?
Yeah. Again, Cottee's obviously, he's a West Ham icon, you know. He lost his job at Sky. Maybe they've bunged him a few quid. He's got bills to pay. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I did say that in my video this morning. Like, I don't know whether Tony Cottee's that sort of man, but
you don't want to think so. You don't want to think so. And
if someone's going to you, actually out of the shares, you're going to make £500,000 a year. Every year.
And don't get me wrong. Tony Cottee loves West Ham United. He loves the club. He is a proper West Ham man. And I think anything he does, he's going to be with the right intentions. But yeah, I think he should do something to say, yeah, this is why I'm backing this bid. And just I don't know, because I don't know why TC's jumped on this now.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's on TalkSport this week, mate. You know, obviously he's got the connections with Sky. It wouldn't surprise me. So look out for TC interviews, I say. The only thing different is they didn't take us from our home. Plus, they want. We talked about that one. Thanks for that comment, Glenn. Andy Miles says West Ham Fan TV made a great point yesterday. We had no stadium running costs during COVID. We should have more money than any other team that is worse off. It's true, actually, mate. Yeah, you know, we didn't have no catering costs or anything for 19 games. Sounds bad to say, but better the devil you know. At least we know there are only a couple of years left with GSB. But then the danger is in a couple of years these guys could come back. That's the problem. If anyone can spot a shyster on Con, it's Sullivan. Get Philip Beard on one of the fan channels and talk to those that matter. He ain't coming on. No more interviews, mate. He ain't doing no more
if I was the people actually heading up Pai Capital, I would say, right, mate, you are going nowhere near a microphone ever again. That was an absolute disaster.
Oh, it was awful, mate. Awful. Peachy says, Milesy in the building. They spend the money from season tickets last season. They got the money, but don't want to spend it. No ambition. It's true, mate. Duncan, it's true. Luke always says we have less with them than we already have. Yeah, I always say with GSB we've got less time left than we already have. You know, we're not going to have another 10 years of them. I hope not. Just skipping through a few comments. Only decent thing at the club is the spotlight for being sold. After the TalkSport interview, I'm even more not for Pai. There's no clarity. I want. What's that say? I want a Fuji's.
I want figures. I think he's
figures. Yeah. Are we going to be left in the debt? I don't care about Olympic legacy. I want to know about the moolah. Anything else? Just says loads of GSB needs to go. GSB needs to go. I'm not a GSB fan, but this is like, frying pan on fire. So true, Andy. Daniel Weck, please, not Arsenal. Obviously, that's a Spotify guy, isn't it? Good point from Ups and Down, mate. What you said, how much of these ex-players being played? I doubt Rio's doing it for free. Rio wants to take over, yet tells Man United to buy Dex. Yeah, I've got no affiliation. I know Paul's been banging on about Rio for years on this channel about how he don't care about West Ham. They bought in TC because the Rio connection didn't go down too well. I want to go back to a stadium and see a team again. I won't go there while GSB are there. All the money about that. That's fair enough, James, mate. Okay, last thing, mate. A couple more things. The Leicester game, mate. We play Leicester on Monday night. Tough game. They started their season with a win against Wolves. Bit lucky. If Traore would have had his shooting boots on, could have been a completely different game. I'll put the lineups for you, mate.
Imagine that, mate. Imagine Traore not having his shooting boots on. Oh, imagine that.
Yeah. No, but I do have a dream of Antonio, Traore, and St. Maximin in the same team.
I mean, yeah, it'd be fun. I wouldn't score many goals, but it'd be fun. Mate, when you take those three players and Antonio's the most prolific, that tells you all you need to know, mate.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, mate. So I'm just going back to the comments, then I'll go back to the Leicester game. Our home is where we played and fans attended. I now have a season ticket, which I wouldn't have had at the bowling. It's a good point, that there's more chance for people to actually get to football now. Philip Biddy, shocking. Like Simon Jordan said, you don't buy any clubs by coming on TalkSport. Sadly, we're stuck with this vulture for at least another 2 years unless something dramatic happens. And sadly, in that time, probably Declan Rice will be sold. Wouldn't surprise me if GSB have something to do with Pai, so it gives them a reason not to invest in this.
I've seen a few people saying this. No. Sullivan, first of all, where's the people backing it, like Philip Beard and all the investors? Where's the incentive for them to completely drag their name through the mud? That they wouldn't do it. Like this Pai thing is not it's not one of Sullivan's schemes. He's not that clever. He ain't. He's not that clever. It would take too much money, too much work. All of these people wouldn't be ruining their reputations for it. So, no, these guys are just idiots.
Yeah. Kent says if the atmosphere is anything like Newcastle on Monday, it will be fire. Brilliant day. Same regarding the new stadium. And Andy Miles says 3-1. Antonio Benrahma Bowen. Okay, so I was going to put the lineups up, mate.
I think sorry, mate. I do just want to highlight that, like from David and Peter there. I think it's important that we acknowledge that there are fans that are happy with the stadium now. That there's going to be the likes of obviously me and you and a lot of fans that hated the move, never wanted to leave Upton Park, never wanted to leave the bowling. But obviously, there's a lot of people that are happy. And I do
deny the price. You cannot deny the price.
The availability of seats, the ticket prices, obviously, like you say, have come down so much. It is affordable football. I don't think me personally, I've been over to the stadium and I've watched a couple of games, and no, I would not pay for a season ticket to watch football in that stadium. To me, I might as well be watching it on TV. The distance and the atmosphere and all the rest of it. It's not for me. It's not for me. But that's not for everybody. Do you know what I mean? And I do understand. I think it's because it gets bashed a lot, and I don't think that's fair. I do think it's important for the people that do enjoy it, to have their opinion and to have their voice as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Which is fair enough. But I think Peter, the thing is it could be so much more. You know, if it was done properly and the stadium was, I don't even think the fact that we moved, I don't think is the big issue. It's the fact that what we moved to, we were sold a lie. You know, what we were told it was going to be, it just isn't. You know, and if we'd have moved and it was a stadium built for football,
even if it weren't the stadium, mate, even if that first transfer window when we went in there, I know we're going back on history here. If Lacazette would have walked through the door in that first transfer window, those stadium moans would not have been there. I'm telling you now, if they would have bought like a real top player that first window, we wouldn't be talking about it.
I think if it was done properly, you know, all for affordable football and getting more fans there and all the rest of it, but it needs to be a football stadium. You know, whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. But I just want to say, I think it's only fair.
Mate, definitely,
to the people that are happy, because there are people that are happy. I'm sure there are people that are happy with Sullivan as well. I don't know why.
Gazza's going with a 2-1 win, 4-2 win. Kent, the atmosphere will turn if we go 1-0 down. It could be like the Burnley game. I don't think quite the Burnley game yet, mate, but it could be if we don't sign players. I think he's so positive, Andy. I still think we're going to be presenting a signing on Monday. Cough, cough, Lingard. There are double the tickets, but it's not Upton Park. It's not Upton Park. It never will be.
And it never will be. It never will be, mate. You know, it doesn't matter what they do. Obviously, those days, unfortunately, are gone. And, you know, we all wish they weren't.
West Ham can play with a part, but the ambition changes. Right, Leicester game. Right, there you go, mate. So that's the sort of lineups that have been planned, and that's the predicted lineup for the weekend. Let's start with us, actually. Any changes, mate? Diop for Dawson, maybe for pace, but that's about it for me. That's the only position I would change.
Yeah, I don't think he'll. I think that will be the team. I don't think he'll make any changes. Like I say, I wouldn't be. You can't just drop Fabianski, but I wouldn't mind seeing Areola play. But obviously, he's not going to. Diop for Dawson. Yeah, I would like to see that. Vardy running at Dawson will give you nightmares. So
I'm worried about Perez against Cresswell as well. I'm worried about that.
I think that will be the lineup. But this is the thing, mate. This is exactly it. We've got we've got like 15 senior players and 3 of them are goalkeepers. We haven't really got many options.
No, we haven't, mate. We haven't. I know Arthur might be back.
Even if you looked at that and said, no, let's change it up. Change it for Rue. We've got no one to change it.
Unless they went 5 at the back, and then you're taking out either Fornells or Bowen then, or Benrahma, which I don't want to see. Looking at their team, mate, I asked everyone that's been on this week, mate, who do you like in their team, mate? I think it's, as I say, mate, it's easier to say who you don't like in their team than who you do like, because every player in that pitch is a fantastic player and would definitely do a job at West Ham.
Sorry, mate. Did you ask me a question now?
Yeah. I said, who do you like, mate? I said, who do you like in that team?
Sorry, mate. Completely missed that. I was distracted there. The guys in the comments are distracting me away from the video.
Mate, it's gone off, and I will come back in the comments. Yeah, I was just saying, who do you like, mate? Who do you like in the Leicester team, and who do you feel?
I mean, obviously Vardy. He loves to go against us as well. Maddison's a great player, like you say. Perez. I think Ndidi's really good. Tielemans. Obviously, you know, they're a good team, mate. You know, they're sort of top 4 challengers now. They are a really good team. But
we did the double over them last year.
I was just going to say, yeah, we did the double over them last year. I'm feeling good about it, mate, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about the game. I think we'll win.
Yeah, no, mate. And if we do win, I'll tell you what, 2 wins down against, you know, tough teams like Newcastle bogey team. They did the double over. If we were to get a win, I'll tell you what, mate, we're going good, mate. We're going good. I really like this team now. I don't know what your feelings are, mate. I actually have proper fell in love with the team again. You know, I really love this team. I really enjoy watching this team. What about you?
Absolutely, mate. And I think we were saying this all last year as well. You know, the fact that we haven't got a sort of standout superstar player.
But Rice is a world-class midfielder, and
absolutely, yeah. But I mean, the likes of, you know, like a sort of highlight. We haven't got like a Dimitri Payet sort of Paolo Di Canio. We haven't got that highlight reel player. Do you know what I mean? It is a team, and it is a fantastic team.
Leaders,
And yeah,
so many leaders in it. You know, for years we said we haven't got any leaders. There's leaders all over that pitch now. There is.
yeah,
It's a great team.
it's really, really good team. The problem is if we get a couple of injuries, that team falls to pieces. That's where the issue is. But no, absolutely, mate. You know, I love watching the team. The defensive side does worry me a little bit. Dawson scares me. Yes, he did well when he came in last year, but he's not the answer long term. Dawson does scare me a bit.
You think we're going to win then? Yeah, that's your prediction.
I think we will, mate. I think we're going to win.
Yeah,
I don't know what score. Let's say.
I think it could be a 3-2, mate. I think it could be one of them 3-2s again.
That's not a bad shout, mate. That's not a bad shout. I'd go for that. Maybe 2-1.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to go through all the comments that we've missed out. It's a fair distance away, but it's part. But
it's fair distance away in parts, yeah.
Certainly, yeah. Some way to grounds, there's a long distance away to stay, and then back Upton Park. David thinks a win. David says, "Where's the money from Diagana, Hala, for sixth place TV money? Board are not paying for catering. 2 million a year. What is going on? Apparently, the debt's gone up to 230 odd million as well. I was reading, like, where's that happened?" George Meyer says he's got a feeling that Areola could start. Wouldn't mind seeing it, mate. It's a property deal. Obviously, it's still some people catching up a bit. I don't think for 1 minute that I'm happy with Sullivan or the seating arrangement at the stadium, but a good architect and an engineer could refigure out the seating once the ownership issues are settled. Thanks for that point, Peter.
Not necessarily, though. Not necessarily. The way that the stadium's been built, the rake of the seats, unless we dig down, that's the thing. Unless you dig down,
to gut it out. Yeah, you've got to gut the whole thing out.
Yeah, unless you dig down into the pitch, because of the rake of the seats, they can't really do anything. It's a very, very shallow stadium. You know, if you look at stadiums like the Nou Camp or whatever, and the rake, you know, they're so
even Spurs,
tall.
mate. Spurs new stadium is quite
yeah,
like a NFL stadium, isn't it?
That's what you need to be close to the pitch. But the London Stadium's so shallow.
Yeah, no, it's an athletic stadium.
Yeah, and all they could do is completely gut the whole thing out and start again. I don't think you can refigure the seating. I think it literally needs to be torn out and start again.
It takes someone incredibly rich coming in and doing that. James says it's okay to be affordable, but when the ambition doesn't match, it's a problem. Barnes versus Soufal is an interesting battle. Can't wait to see Soufal's first game last year. Had a great game. And Benrahma versus Pereira. Mate, there's loads of battles, mate. Ndidi versus Rice. Tillemans versus Souček. All over the pitch, there's battles that are going to be going on. We let in 2, score 4 like Liverpool a few years ago. Good question for you, mate. James says, what's your thoughts on Benrahma?
Touched on him
at the start of the show,
yeah, touched on him at the start of the show, mate. Like I said earlier on, you know, I had my doubts on him massively last year. He didn't impress me. I don't think. Yes, completely understand. It was his first season coming into the league. You know, he had a lot of appearances off the bench, sort of bit part player, but he didn't really impress me. He's obviously been doing a lot of work pre-season. He's come back. He looks stronger. He looks bigger, and he was fantastic. You know,
as well, decision making.
Yeah. He was fantastic against Newcastle pre-season as well. He really impressed me, mate. Really impressed me. And as I said, you know, I don't want any West Ham player to be a failure. I want every West Ham player to be a success. And I hope more than anything that Benrahma does go on. And it looks like he will. You know, it does. It looks like he's got that fire there now. Maybe, and I know Luke was saying this all last season, you were saying this about, he just needs one goal. And then that one goal will sort of kick on.
Maybe that one goal has lifted him now.
Maybe that goal, we got a goal right at the end of the season. Maybe that goal did give him that.
I'm so glad he scored. I'm so glad he scored in the first game.
Yeah, I think got it out of the way.
That's
got it out of the way early.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, really good pre-season. Fantastic man of the match against Newcastle. And I really hope he kicks on, mate. I really do. And again, like we said earlier, the worry is if Lingard does come back, he sort of gets pushed out again. It'd be a shame. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to see that. I really do. I want Benrahma to be given a chance now, and I do want him to kick on. You know, happy days that he's proved me wrong.
100%. Kent says, could we play 5 at the back now that Arthur's been used in the last under 23 games? And the problem with that, mate, is you have to drop one of them boys like Bowen, Benrahma, or Fonel, isn't it? Probably be Benrahma. We don't want to see that. I do want to see Arthur back in. I do like Arthur. But again, he has to play that left wing back role, and then you have to sacrifice someone else. That's the only problem. What is the point of aiming for Europe places when the board are probably moaning about the flight tickets? Exactly that, mate. James says, could see 3 at the back. I'm just skipping through. I do apologise, guys, just because a lot of you are saying the same stuff. 4-3 to West Ham. I used to love the drive down to the bowling from Bolton. What an atmosphere that was. Electric. Not been, nor would I. It's a shame because the team is amazing at the moment. Yeah, I used to love the walk down the Barking Road. I know Paul shares the same with that. Lee says, up the hammers. Hope we sign some players before the next transfer window. What do you think? We talked about transfers, mate. Something will happen. I think a couple of loan to buys. What about you, mate? Just as a sum up comment on what we discussed.
I've got no faith.
Oh, someone's got
we'll
to
sign it. I think Lingard will come in. I don't think we'll sign a striker. Maybe we'll get a centre back on loan.
Yeah. Words and pictures. I just love that name. I'm expecting us to trash the 6-0. Benny to chip the defender. Antonio chest it down and score script. Well, a bit like my FIFA series. I won it 6-0, didn't I? And then I got exposed that it wasn't on world class. It was on professional. So I've got to do world class for the next video. Me and Paul have to do one together at one day where we do like a co-op thing against one of it. They're so easy to make, to be fair. Just commentate over it and film the video. It's so easy to make. 3-1 up the hammers. Plus Palace next manager, new players, perfect time to play them. Yes, obviously after the Leicester game. Benrahma to score 9 or more, and I'm going Benadryl 40-1.
That's a good shout, mate. That's a good bet. That's
a great bet. Norwich are 25-1 to win at City today. I can't see that. They bring on Daka. They bring on Daka late in the game, and I think Fredericks will come on and score. Yeah, I forgot we didn't mention Daka, mate. Obviously, Daka signed for Leicester. The typical West Ham would be he comes and scores against us, wouldn't it?
I think that's going to be the bet now, mate.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I think I'm going to put that on Monday. Benrahma in time could get to Payet levels. I don't think he can get to that level. That's super duper level. I think he could be a real special player for us. Though. Really.
Oh yeah, I think he could be a very good player. But I mean, mate, Payet was literally one of the best players in the world.
Literally. Comparison, I would say maybe someone like a Benny Yoon. He could go on and be something like that. You know, Benny is a fantastic player.
I think the thing that disappointed me the most last year with Benrahma was when he came in, he's supposed to be this trick star and all the rest of it, and I never really saw that from him. He doesn't stand players up, you know, like Di Canio used to do or Payet used to do. He don't stand players up and do a trick and go past them. Maybe I was coming in with the wrong impressions. I don't know, but I think Benny Yoon's a good comparison, mate. I think that's a decent shout.
Yeah. He will thrive when the fans back. Yeah, I've been saying that with Benrahma. He's the sort of player, you know, if you're in the stadium and he nutmegs a player, you're like, oi. He's the sort of player who will love all that. James says, I've stuck by Benrahma through thick of it. I know you have, mate. The boy is talented and I'm glad people are seeing it now. All the people on the case last season have to see.
I don't think anyone doubted the talent was there. Could he make the step up? You know, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. And I don't think he did last year. But hopefully now, like we say, now he's kicking on and he's showing that. He is showing he's got the ability. Long may it continue, mate.
Thailand, John says, how can they say we're too skint to sign players? It doesn't add up. They just don't want to spend the money, mate. They don't want to spend the money, and that's the problem. Right, I'm going to do a couple more comments. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and then we need to wrap it up now because we've been going a long time. Watching from Malta, moved in 9 months ago from Barking. Great show.
Difference, mate. Difference.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I bet it's lovely over there, mate. So I skipped your one, Kent. Sorry. Benrahma is a mixture of Benny Yoon and Al Berkovic. Yeah, I agree. Similar sort of players. you did feel for Ben Rama last season when he kept being taken off, but we are seeing the best. Yeah, it's very hard. He felt like he had to, perform every time. And I will be with Paul a little bit. There were games where he didn't perform. He needed to step up. Looks like he's getting in there. His pass to Antonio was a great pass for the goal. Real good decision making. Right, last thing I want to talk about, mate. So no more on that, guys. Last thing I'm going to talk about is Europa League, mate. By the next time I talk to you, when we do the next podcast on Saturday or Sunday next week, we'll know we've got an Europa League, mate. Exciting, mate. Exciting. No, I'm very excited.
Of course it is. Of course it is. This is it, mate. This is what me personally I've been waiting for a long time since we got to the European qualifiers. And was it Palermo knocked us out?
Yeah, a long time ago, mate. But then obviously we've had Gugu as well in that time.
Oh yeah, I'm going back way before that. Like I say, that
Palermo was Tevez, mate, weren't it? When Dimakalis scored against us, pink kits.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, and ever since then, all I've wanted was for us to get to the group stage. That's it.
So we've got 6 games to actually
exactly.
Enjoy it.
Like to be in the competition proper, as you say, mate. 6 games against good teams.
Someone made a good point, though, mate, as well. We're really guaranteed about 10 because I can't see us finishing 4th in our group.
No,
finish 3rd in the Europa League conference.
Yeah, you would hope not. That's a really good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. I can't wait, mate. I cannot wait.
Mate, I can't wait. I'll definitely be watching it live next week. I can't wait, mate. I can't wait. Who would you like to see come out the app, mate? I think I've asked you before. Obviously, Rangers and Celtic are confirmed now. We know Marseille's in there. We know Lazio's in there.
Lazio would be amazing. I would love Lazio. That would be amazing.
Let's just see if I can get it up quick. That sounds so wrong if you've just joined in the chat there, guys.
Different kind of show this week.
Yeah, I know. Right? Yeah, well, I can't do it on OnlyFans anymore. So, what are we looking for? Europa League. Right, we need. Just want to see the list of teams and who would be quite excited to get. Okay. Celtic and Rangers. A lot of people are saying whilst it's loading. Seemingly, we are going in for Origi and Lombardi or Lombard. Yeah, we discussed Lombard. Yeah, Lombard is a dance, isn't it? Rangers in Europe would be nice to see them. It would. Lazio, Celtic, and a Russian side. Fancy a draw with Marseille, Celtic, and Lazio. I tell you what, we ain't getting out of the group though, mate. If it's them, 0607. That was when Tevez. I have done my triple ticket for the. Yeah, did you see that, mate? West Ham are offering 3 games. So the first 3 games in the Europa League, £60. I thought it was a good deal.
That's a fantastic deal. For £60 each, obviously.
No, mate, 3 games, £60.
£60 for 3 games.
Yeah, mate.
For the Europa League home games.
Hold up, 3 games, £60.
That's really good. That's really good. That.
So I know we've slated them off, but that's a good deal. That is a great deal. That's a great deal. Well, I'm just going to get these teams up, mate. Last thing we're going to talk about, just have a look through. I know we did it a couple of weeks ago, but obviously more teams have been added now since the last time we spoke about this. So here's some of the teams that we can potentially get drawn against, mate. Sociedad, big team. Real Betis, that's Pellegrini, isn't it? Betis?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Leicester we won't be able to play. Frankfurt, Haller's old club. Leverkusen's a good club.
Sparta Prague would be
Napoli, mate, your boy, Insignia.
I'd love to see one of the Italian clubs. Lazio would be brilliant. Obviously, the connection we've got with Lazio. I
think
Napoli have got some really good players.
Napoli would tuck us in.
I think Napoli, I would think so.
Leon,
Marseille would be good for Pai.
Obviously, Sparta Prague would be a nice one for Souček and
there's some decent teams there, man.
Who else we got here? Antwerp, Sturm Graz, Olympiacos, Rangers, and then St Johnston, Galatasaray. I think what's his name? James, who's probably still in the chat. He made a good point. I think the main thing is I don't think we want the ties to be too far away. I think if they're, Italy's okay. I think if you're going to Kazakhstan and you've got to come back and play on the Sunday, I think that's when it could be difficult for us. If it's like France, Portugal, it's not too bad. Or even Celtic, we just got to go up the road. Yeah. Is the Europa League? Televised, yep, it's usually on BT Sport, mate. There you go. Apparently, Antonio is on BT's Football Focus in a minute, so we'll go and watch that. All right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for all the comments. The comments going crazy today. Actually, it was really hard to keep up with it. It's good to have Paul back. 150th show. We'll be back next week discussing the Europa League. Hopefully, we would have had, 3 wins down, mate. Hopefully,
3 wins and a couple of signings. Hopefully, mate.
Yeah, a couple of signings as well. That would be a real good show then. Until next time, guys. Keep believing. Come on, you irons. Let's go.